Well, hi guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. I am Melinda Fargus, the president of Action Travel. And here at Weekly Travel Updates, we bring the world to you through travelers' eyes. I hope no one's leaving for Europe this week. The new ETA and visa lines have become so excessive. Many travelers were waiting up to 7 hours in line. Tourism authorities are requesting they delay these new implications until the end of the summer season. Well, I promised you that I would bring you up to date with what has gone on since last week. And in Venezuela, the duplet, which is what they really call this double earthquake that happened 39 seconds apart, um, the cause stretched all the way to Trinidad and Tobago. As a matter of fact, not much media coverage has happened for the island of Trinidad. And one stretch of beach in Trinidad rose 30 feet in 60 seconds. It was a huge landmass right along the coastline. It stranded hundreds of fish and large stingrays, and it's left vents where you can see steam coming up, except it's not steam, it's natural gas. And along the beach side, there were videos, news coming from the area where you could even see black crude oil coming up from underneath. And this did not happen prior to this duplet of Venezuela. But it's been another active week for the Pacific Ring of Fire. Since last Monday, there has been a 5.7 earthquake off the coast of Oregon, and then a 5.1 just shortly followed that as an aftershock. Then today in Northern California, just outside of Humboldt County, there was a 5.1 earthquake. And while Humboldt County is about 180 miles inland, the strongest lasts for almost 35 seconds. Others that have occurred just this week in the Pacific Ring of Fire were Japan had one at 5.7 near Mount Fuji. It was felt all the way to Tokyo. There was a 6.5 in the southern Philippines. And while it was offshore, they're fearing additional aftershocks. You've already heard about the Venezuela. And then on July 3rd, in the Gulf of California, near San Diego, there was a 6.7 earthquake, the largest recorded in the area in more than 100 years. Basically, if you're traveling anywhere along the Pacific Rim, from California to Alaska to Japan, the Philippines, or South America, remember these earthquakes are part of their life. Enable the earthquake alert app on your phone and remember what they teach even the kids in school. Drop, cover, and hold on. Well, that brings us to America's 250th year. I had such a great weekend. I hope that you did. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Europe Heatwave, Coolcations, the world as it's changing, and a cruise hero this week. And then we're going to do around the world in 60 seconds. Well, let's start off. This is, and I don't know why you can't see me. I'm supposed to be right here to the left above my name, but something's wrong with my camera. I guess it was working in 30 minutes ago. Anyway, had you looked at the replays of the record-breaking fireworks display that occurred all over the United States, from New York to the 800,000 shot off around the Washington Monument, and then the celebrations that were out at Mount Rushmore. It's just beautiful. I'm going to share with you as a free gift tonight a QR code that will take you to each of those. And that will be super cool. Okay. Let's talk about hold on one second. Let's talk about the heat wave in Europe. Paris saw 105 degrees this week. Rome, 109, and Madrid, 112. This has caused huge challenges. There are pictures of tourists sticking their head in fountains, standing in fountains up to their knees. It's it is just like, we can't take this. Remember to stay hydrated. That is the biggest challenge. When I travel, I carry a disposable cup with me and I fill it anywhere I have opportunity. I highly encourage that. If you're going to go do sightseeing, do it early in the day, because people are passing out in the Vatican. It's a big square. It's white marble granite pavement, and it is hot. Take a break in the middle of the day, beyond just lunch. Take some time to just refocus before you go back out. And remember, exploring in the evenings offers some of the best cultural events you'll find. Speaking of the heat, the world is really changing. I read a story and created this slide all because the ice the snow that has been covering the Swiss glaciers have melted 3 weeks to a month early. And what that's done, it's made the volume of the glaciers decrease by 10% in the last 2 years. Rising temperatures, changing weather patterns, and less snowfall are accelerating the melt. And it doesn't just mean that, oh, the glaciers are not going to be there. It means that they don't have the water that they normally do, because they use the runoff from the snow, and that's much of what feeds their water sources, their lakes. They're told to save water every drop, to reduce waste by recycling, reuse, and choose sustainable products, to travel responsibly and support eco-friendly tourism, and to leave destinations better than you found them, to stay informed. Knowledge leads to action. So be part of the change. Small actions today create that better tomorrow. Well, now we're going to jump to a feel-good story, and it is about this Carnival Cruise crew member who had just gotten off shift. He was eating in the dining room and eating near this family with a small 11-month-old baby. The baby stopped breathing, was turning blue. The family were screaming, didn't know what to do. And because of this officer's training in life-saving CPR and choking hazards is just part of that training, he was able to save this child. You guys, that's huge. He didn't have to step in at all. He was off duty. He was across the dining room, but heard the scream and just realized he could help. One crew member saved one life. I thought that was well worth mentioning tonight when so much of what we share is not always positive, especially about the cruise lines. But anyway, he has been written up and given all kinds of extras this week. Congratulations. Then let me tell you what is cool is the new hot, and it's Coolcations, places where you can go and the weather not be 100 degrees. Norway is number one with its stunning fjords, charming villages, and endless natural beauty. It's perfect for cruising, hiking, and exploring. Let's not forget Iceland, one of the top picks for the United States travelers this year. Iceland's natural wonders, waterfalls and geysers, hot springs, and otherworldly landscapes. There's one area that they call the moonscape, and that's just what it looks like. It's a land of fire, ice, and unforgettable adventure. And let's not leave out Alaska. It's wild and majestic with its glaciers, wildlife, and wide open wilderness. You can experience Alaska's untamed beauty up close. Now, they put this under the cool station, but I'll share with you that when we were in Alaska a few years ago, on August 1st, we were in Juneau and it was 81 degrees. So it's not always cool up there, is all I'm saying. Okay, in Switzerland, alpine beauty, snow-capped peaks, crystal clear lakes, and storybook charm. Switzerland is known for its scenic trains, its quaint towns, and its fresh mountain air. But in thinking about the last story, the melting of these glaciers are part of what we see in the Swiss Alps. And it could be that within our lifetime, the beauty of the Swiss Alps, the snow-covered peaks, really are not snow-covered peaks anymore. Let's go to Canada. Breathtaking views from Banff to Vancouver Island. Canada inspires every traveler. There's big landscapes, warm welcomes, and pure magic. I'll share with you one of my favorite things about Canada is when people want to go, particularly kids who want to do a honeymoon, and maybe their budget just does not afford that. One of my tips is to consider Quebec, because Quebec has those charming little quaint towns, and it has a very European architecture about it. It is something that is truly magical. So if you can't make it to Europe, or you don't want to go that far, or time doesn't afford you 2 days worth of traveling to get across the Atlantic, consider Quebec. Air Canada has got flights out of Raleigh-Durham, and they're at a pretty good value. Well, I want you to see the bonus gift alert QR code down on the bottom left. This gift will give you America's 250 fireworks collection. I'll show you on the next page if there's one specific place you like, but I compiled it together because I just love fireworks. Let's see. Hold on. I just lost my page. Okay, right here, these are the QR codes for the specific fireworks shows, New York City and the record-breaking Washington show, and you cannot see that. Why can't you see that? Hold on. Okay, we did The World is Changing. Coolcations. Here it is. All right. America's 250 Fireworks Collection. If you took these QR codes and scan it, I will tell you, we picked out the best sections of each of these fireworks shows. And then we also put the Freedom 250 official site where they had music to go along with the fireworks. It was truly an exciting day. Well, here are the resources for tonight's stories and shows. And our travel takeaway tonight is an additional free gift right beside my face in the middle of the bottom. And that is going to be how to travel in these very extreme weather patterns that we're seeing here lately. Be prepared, plan ahead, stay safe, and travel responsibly. There has been a lot to go on, and it is surely just going to get more complicated as new countries come out with things that they would like. This is a map of what the weather is. Now, this is not in Fahrenheit, this is in Celsius. So add, I think it's 45 degrees to each of these. It has just been steamy, steamy weather. They're just not used to it. Of course, we're not used to it either. Last week we had 2 days that North Carolina broke records for the hottest days on record. Last Tuesday and last Thursday, we exceeded 100 degrees both of those days. And I'm thankful that that we have air conditioning. It's a blessing. Well, you guys, thanks so much for being with us. Next week, we're going to talk about the hurricane season. There is a large amount of a dust storm coming from the Sahara, which should not allow for hurricanes to form this coming week, but we plan on looking into more details next week. And until then, please like and share on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook. We greatly appreciate your time, and we know that you could be doing many things. So we appreciate that you were here. Have a great week, and until next week, ciao, guys.